Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of Highland Park Saltire Edition 2. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of Highland Park Saltire Edition 2. This limited edition bottling from Highland Park is in collaboration with ex-Formula 1 racing driver David Coulthard. This particular bottling is the second of his charity bottlings made in association with Highland Park. It's a 13-year-old single malt whisky that's been aged in ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks, and this second edition isn't a single cask like the edition 1. It's still 43% like edition 1 and it's a natural colour, but this particular one obviously wasn't part of the single cask release that they did first off and isn't hand signed by David Coulthard himself. So this is the cheaper of the two bottlings. This one is still available from Highland Park's website. It's £55, and being a big Formula 1 fan, I was pleased I could get my hands on this. It features the Saltire, which is the sort of flag of Scotland, and it shows his signature printed on the label. I purchased this about a year ago, but haven't got round to opening it, and I am glad that they do still have some, because obviously not only will you be able to buy one if you like the sound of it after I've reviewed it, it also helps local charities in the Dumfries and Galloway area of Scotland, which were local to where David Coulthard grew up, so he wants to support the community in which he grew up as a child. Shall we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. Right, so before I start nosing and tasting, I will point out that I actually got to meet David Coulthard last summer at the British Grand Prix in 2019, and yeah, he's a really nice guy. The 13-year-old was picked to signify his 13 Formula 1 Grand Prix wins, so yeah, it's a fitting number to celebrate his career in Formula 1. So let's start off with the colour. Say that's like a deep gold. It's got a really nice colour to it, and it is natural colour as I mentioned earlier. It's presented at 43 ABV, and yeah, let's see what it's like on the nose. Right, so there's two things I get instantly. There's like a really noticeable sort of salt, really salty character, and lovely sweet caramel. That's really nice. I'm now picking up honey, and there's a hint of smoke there as well. But with that smoke, I'm getting like a pepperiness. It's followed by like a pepper, which is different on the nose. I don't normally pick that sort of note up, but it's quite nice. And there is a noticeable sort of sherry sweetness as well in there. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's that saltiness that I picked up first. It's a little bit briny. It gives a sort of like a maritime feel to the nose, sort of a sweet and salty. Almost like a salted caramel as well. Yeah, it's really quite nice. Let's try it on the palate. Right, so it's not too light. It is reminiscent of, you know, the sort of Highland Park core range, like the 12 and the 15. But the first thing you get is smoke, and that smoke is sort of followed by heat, and that heat has a pepperiness to it, and it really is like a black pepper. It's yeah, it's not too punchy, but it is. It's sort of making my tongue tingle. Let's have another sip. Yeah, now comes some sweetness. I'm getting like toffee. I'm getting vanilla. I'm getting icing sugar. And then where that smoke started on the first sip, that's sort of turning into like an ashy, yeah, sort of like an ashy, sort of, yeah, almost like when you inhale sort of those ashy sort of embers that are left as a fire's going out. It leaves that sort of taste, and that then is becoming almost malty, like malted cereal. Let's have another sip. Okay, it's developing further, and on the third sip you're getting more flavours. I'm getting like dark fruits. That's probably from the sherry. It's a little bit sweet, but that sweetness is now turning into like tropical fruits, like maybe like mango. Yeah, more mango, I'd say. Possibly a hint of pineapple, but really it's like juicy sort of tropical fruits. It's a really interesting mix of flavours, and as it lingers on the palate, I'd say it's a short to medium finish. There is that sort of tannic dryness from the sherry influence. There is a bit of sort of dry wood as well. There's a hint of pepper that lingers, but there is also that sweetness, like the icing sugar, and there's a note that is just sort of a hint in the background. It's like Marmite, but it's really, really quite light. So all in all, it's quite a nice dram. I wouldn't say it's spectacular. I think if you're a Highland Park fan, you'll probably like this without a doubt. If you're a Formula One fan, especially a David Coulthard fan, then I think it's one of those whiskies that isn't too expensive, that you could crack open and enjoy at £55 a bottle for a 13-year-old whiskey. It is a fairly limited run. Then yeah, I think it's not overly expensive. Obviously, if this wasn't a celebrity edition, then it would probably retail for about 40, maybe £45. So at £55, I don't think it's too far off. And obviously some of the proceeds goes to charity. So I'm definitely glad I bought it. It's one I think I can enjoy from time to time, but it's by no means spectacular. At 43% and natural colour, the presentation is good, and probably what you'd expect for something that has potentially a more mainstream appeal. So if this is your sort of thing, then go out and buy one. They won't last forever, but if not, I'll see you on the next one. Stauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.